Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 30th of March. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Pearce.
My, Gary, it's the 30th of March. Tomorrow means it's the 31st of March, and then the next day it's the 1st of April. And we know what happens on the 1st of April. All the old April Fool's tricks are brought out. You can only go through to 11 o'clock, or is it 12 o'clock?
I think it's 12 o'clock. I think it's the morning, yeah.
So the point I'm making, Gary, is how quickly is this year galloping away from us?
That's the first quarter, done and dusted, Phil.
I know. Yep. And what a great year it's been. Viewers, how nice has it been to be back in the real world? Thank you, Dan. Slip Dan, we'll call him now.
Slippery Dan.
Slippery, no, I don't think that. Slipped Dan.
Yep.
Not Slippery Dan, but Slipped Dan.
Yep.
Thank you for taking off the restrictions. We can now, I love this though, right? Wait for this. You can now have 100 people at your house.
Yep.
So, Slip Down, the question I want to know is, who wants to have 100 people at their house?
And who's got 100 people to come to their house? Unless you're Corey Worthington. Remember that kid that had the big baby? Unless you're him.
How ridiculous. I mean, take the restrictions off and just say you can have as many people as you want to your house, because who's having more than 100 people?
If you've got 100,
no one's...
It gets, Phil, at 101 it's very dangerous. 101, that extra one person, there's just COVID spreads like crazy to the 101st
viewers,
person.
I'm interested...
My son could have 100 people at our house, by the way. He's capable of doing that.
But that's because he put something on social
media.
No,
that's just because he's just
all
crazy,
of these drunken, oversexed young people would come
Phil.
at your house. No, I just want to finish this.
Okay.
Viewers, send your ideas in at ideas@garypearce.com.
I've got something here,
It's up on the screen. No, I'm going to come to that because it's great. But if you regularly have more than 100 people at your house...
Or if
you ever have 100 people at your house...
You've had 100 people at your house?
Can you let me know?
No, you haven't.
I think I've had 80.
Yeah, okay,
but I've topped out. No, and that was a
garage sale?
No, that was... No. I think we had my nephew's... pre-wedding luncheon at our house, which was a lovely day.
I can't remember the invitation.
We actually had it catered by our favourite caterer, which is...
Must have got lost in the mail, my invite to that.
Well, no, it didn't. It didn't get lost in the mail at all. It was never posted.
Right.
But our wonderful caterer, which I want to shout...
Did you pay that through the business?
I want to shout out to our wonderful caterers, whose name has just gone out of my mind.
That's great. They must be so happy with the promo you've just given them. That's
Can you quickly... You meant to rescue me here.
No, I'm not rescuing. I'm going to throw you right under the bus, mate, and reverse over you.
Asaf
from Food and Desire.
Food and Desire.
He does a great job of stuff, doesn't he?
So a bit of a shout out.
Carousel fame.
Amongst many other places.
Of course,
But thank you, Asaf, for catering my nephew's. Well,
how long ago was that?
You should be thanking me because you catered, I paid.
Yeah.
But the point being, we had about 80 people there. It was a lovely function. But who has 100 people to their house?
Well, maybe not Dan Andrews. I don't know. He wouldn't have 101 because that would be dangerous. But, you know, you're talking about, you made a bit of a comment before, sex was in it somewhere. And
you're oversexed.
No, I'm not. No. Yeah, that's what, there was some sex thing you said. And it got me thinking, Phil, and I don't know if this is appropriate because GPTV
I'm sure it's not.
Supposed to be a property show, but I can't imagine you'd ever thought about it. You know, there's the people in Parliament who are doing things, right, on the desks. We've got all these desks in the office. Do you think anything ever inappropriate ever happened in our office desks? I couldn't help but being curious because it was in my face. The Parliament doing this and that and desk. Of course, you know, it's bizarre, but then why would people do that sort of thing? I don't understand about that whole thing on the desks, and I'm wondering, maybe they were angry with you, Phil, and they said, I'm going to fix his desk up or something like that. I'm not sure.
To say,
I'm worried, concerned, curious.
I think it's fair to say, Gary, that the leaders of this country, and by the way, you know, I think the Labor Party is sitting there back in their seats going, but for the grace of God go I, that they're not in Parliament at this time of the
you're just avoiding the question.
Of the cultural...
When you go back to the office and you look at your desk now, what are you going to be thinking?
Firstly, I want to just say that this was discussed at our dinner table.
Discussed
at our dinner table a couple of nights ago.
Is that right?
I think that it is absolutely fair and reasonable that the Parliament is called to account for misogynistic, old-fashioned behaviour that both sides of Parliament...
But that's not about... this is about somebody kind of hitting out and making a point. It's not as misogynistic because it was a couple of few men.
It's everything to do with a poor culture where men and women are not respecting each other totally. So you might just see that for
a wild show.
You might see that for the incident that it was. But if you look at that incident in isolation with your old-fashioned super
I think it was a rebel.
right-wing tunnel vision.
It could have been a rebel statement,
no,
Phil.
Gary. I mean,
could have
the
been
fact that this sort of thing goes on.
To the government.
That sort of thing
to
has
someone.
not gone on in our office for years.
Okay,
Since a certain person
fair
left
enough.
our
Well,
organisation.
I feel a lot better now knowing that. Thanks for that, Phil. You've put me to rest, and that's terrific.
And if it is still going on in our office,
Yeah.
I want to know about it because we will stamp it out because
Exactly
I'm absolutely, I know that this whole thing has kind of
it's
left
shocked
you
me
behind.
a bit. It scared me
But
a bit.
I am
I'm just getting in the office at night.
The sooner we have
no one's
a
there.
50%, the sooner 50% of our MPs are female and 50% are male, or actually, just
Well,
so
shouldn't
that
it just be on merit? Shouldn't it just
no,
be on
Gary,
how good people
we
are?
need affirmative action. We need
Okay.
affirmative action because
Affirmative action?
ultimately, when
Okay.
women represent 50% of
You
our
know,
parliament, we will be governed by a
I
better
don't want
government.
a whole political discussion. I'm just worrying our desks are going out of this because I eat from the desk occasionally. I sit on the desk, and I'm just curious about, forget about all the political agendas. Do you reckon our desks are all okay, or should we give them a good cleaning over? That's all I want to know.
Since we installed cameras within the office,
'Cause I know
I'm pretty sure
We're okay,
that the
yeah.
behaviour has improved.
Notwithstanding what it was before, but I remember hearing a bit of a story about a St Kilda-based agent, some inappropriate things going on in their office a few years ago. We'll leave it at that, Phil. They're no longer in business, that particular company.
As again, Gary, I say, but for the grace of God go we, so I
Yep.
would move on to the next subject
Okay.
if I was you. Speaking of next subjects, how much do I love this show? There's a lot of people that bag. There's a lot of people that bag this show, particularly some of our competitors. Oh, what have they said on GPTV
but they're all watching
again
it,
this
aren't they?
week? But they're all watching.
Exactly right.
Sure,
Yeah.
they are all watching.
It was like it's like our housekeeper when I was young. She was this housekeeper. She'd go, "Oh, it's terrible. That number 96 is terrible. It's a terrible show. It's a terrible show." And I go, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, I was watching it last night, and this is what happened."
Never missed an episode.
Yeah, that's right.
But we get a lot of feedback at ideas@garypeer.com.au, and we love them. And we love the feedback, regardless of whether it's good, bad, or indifferent.
You can
and
abuse us. We don't care.
We have had some abuse. We've had some
Makes me feel at home when I'm abused.
Take me off your
Get
email
out now.
list.
Yeah,
It's outrageous what you've had to say.
What you said, yes.
But I want to do a shout out because last week's episode we talked about my son Ben deferring from law to become a baker.
Yes, he is a
and
wonderful
I've got
baker
the
boy.
Nicest, a bit of a shout out to Benji Van Roo. I hope that's the right pronunciation of your surname, Benji. But
Is there any real estate here in the show?
No, but he wrote in.
Yeah,
took
but
the trouble
it's a
to
property show,
Took
Phil.
the trouble to write in and tell us about the fact that his family, they bought a property from us.
Yep.
They love the show, watch the show,
Yep.
And they have a baking machinery
yes, I
supply
saw that email.
business.
It was lovely, lovely, yeah.
So I might just show up the link, www.vanrooy.com.au. So if
Put that on the screen.
If you're a baker and you're watching the show, or if you're a baker wanting to set up a bakery, or you just want to set up a bakery just for the fun of it, we will be buying all of Ben's bakery's goods.
Yep. Equipment, Phil.
I haven't looked at the website yet, but it was so nice, Benji, for you to write in. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're not just about being buyers and sellers together, Phil. We're about being bakers and bakers' machinery together. It's a very, very wide-reaching show. Hey, I thought you were talking about this, Phil, about they wanted to know who can play musical instruments, and we've got somebody who plays spoons, plays the spoons. So maybe we should get some... I think we should get them to send in a bit of spoon music.
Send us in a bit of
and
send us in a YouTube clip, and we will show you playing the spoons.
Playing the spoons.
Goodness,
Love a bit of spoon action.
Knows, it shouldn't be a long clip.
Yeah, exactly right.
Just a highlight of your best song.
Yeah, last time a real estate agent got involved in a spoon, Philip, it was the other side down the road, and I think there was some substances involved. That's another story. We're not going to go there, Phil.
You're really dumping it on a lot of agencies.
No, I'm not.
So
I'm only mucking
sexual
around.
misconduct, and we've
That
got
did happen
drugs.
in St Kilda. I didn't say that, Philip. I just said it might have been a dessert, might have been something just to eat, which was lovely. Phil, let's just move on because we're getting out of order, and let's talk about the real estate market. Because some people want to know about property. Hey, by the way, someone did come up to me at an auction in Elwood, and just want to say thanks. He said, "Oh, I love your GPTV show. Watch it every week at the Elwood auction in Milton Street." And I said, "You need to get Netflix," which is
do you know what, Gary? We're sorry, me looking at here, but
I just go do that.
No, I want to bring up.
Remind me of my kids at dinner now. Just go and do that.
I want to bring up.
I want a life message for you, son and daughter. Oh, you're on your phone, right?
I want to bring up the. I can't find find
well,
our
isn't it?
results for the weekend, but they were massive.
Oh, the
So
clearances?
yes.
Can I go out of camera here for a second and reach my phone?
No,
or is
you
that
can't. You can't. You talk, Gary, and I'll look
I'll
for
talk.
the...
I'll just keep it dancing. As
Yeah,
you know,
no,
that's
no.
what Paul Hogan used to do. We'd keep it dancing Maria when things got awkward. You just have a look there, Phil. I'm going to go through some of our results. Anyway, you can go get the big stats
I don't know
and
where
just be
it's gone
clumsy.
here.
Yeah.
Come on, quickly, just talk.
Phil, how about the auction on Thursday night at 12 Ripley Grove, St Kilda? And look, these vendors got a great result, but would it be inappropriate to describe them as selfish? Because in terms of their commitment to the real...
I think you can.
Yeah, okay. So congratulations to the vendor. I say tongue-in-cheek, what a selfish vendor. 92 years the family have held on this home at number 12 Ripley Grove. 92
years,
yep.
Gary. Like they've owned it, obviously, yes. for the entire life of
Yep.
the person that lived there, and probably the parents before that.
Yes.
Because there's not too many people that live to 100.
No.
And if they did live to 100...
Did you find what you're looking for,
yeah,
by the
I
way?
did.
Yeah,
if they lived to 100, they would have had to buy this property at 8.
That's
so
right.
I think it's fair to say that this is probably a family...
Generational home.
Generational change. Look,
Well done to the buyer
we've
too.
got expenses, and if you hold on to your property for 92 years, I can't update my new Range Rover.
No,
I can't.
that's important.
I can't go on an all expenses paid trip around the world. I can't continue to buy these
ridiculous
beautiful
suits.
these beautiful suits. So please, it's not about you living in your homes,
For so long,
enjoying
happily,
yourself, bringing up your family, and having a lovely life. It's really about us.
On behalf of the real estate industry, could you please sell often? Not
Every
stay
7
tight.
years, we'd love you to
Would be
move
good.
home every 7
Anyway,
years.
Phil,
But Gary, the
8
results
bidders?
for the weekend,
Hang on, don't take me out line.
22 auctions
found
out of 26 for an 85% clearance
Oh, let's
rate.
put the towers up. We haven't
Towers
done it for
up.
a
The
while.
industry was
Put
at
the-
79, I believe, by the time it scales back. So 79, Gary Peer and Associates, obviously smashing it out of the park with an 85% clearance.
Isn't there some freaky results around though, Phil? And of course, you know, people are saying, are people underquoting, and there's all this sort of, you know, anxiety and anger, which I can understand people feeling that way. But when things go out of control because there's competition, Phil, that's what happens in the laissez-faire economy,
Do you
Philip,
know,
in
no
the
one,
marketplace.
no, when the market's on the downturn,
Yes.
right?
No one ever underquotes,
no one
yeah.
ever writes to Consumer Affairs going, look, I'd just like to say the poor agents, at, you know, Nepean Highway didn't get, they sold underneath their range. There's no complaints about selling under the range, is there? Speaking of selling over the range,
there is some
Gary,
vendors.
Gary, talking of incredible results on the weekend, I auctioned a property for Leon Gusenfeld and his vendors in Hodder Street in East Brighton, which is a gorgeous address.
Sold for $2 million, it's disclosed.
That's
the punchline before you tell the joke, isn't
That's it. I mean, just completely ruined it.
Sorry
Viewers
about
sold a couple of $100,000 over
a killjoy.
reserve.
Yep.
And there's a lovely moment at this auction, Gary, and we talked about it in the sales.
Perhaps?
No, we talked about it in the sales meeting on Monday. How much I love multiculturalism.
Yes, of course
So
we
we're
do.
standing in the house in Hodder Street, East Brighton,
Yes, we are.
for some wonderful people that were not born in Australia.
Okay.
So we're selling their house, and we've got some Germans that are bidding for the property.
Jawohl.
Some German
bid.
session.
Sehr good. Ja,
So we've got
bid
some,
schnell, ja.
so
Fast.
we've got some German people bidding for the property, and there were 5 people bidding at this property.
is sehr
But
gut.
the German people that were bidding for the property were assisted by Jan, our agent who was born just near Beijing.
Yes.
Now, what language would a person that was born near Beijing speak to the Germans in? Everybody, there's no prizes for guessing it's Mandarin.
Of course.
No prizes for guessing it's English. But I'm standing there watching Jan speak in German
It's amazing, isn't
to the Germans who are standing in East Brighton. How good's Australia? How good's Australia, Scotty, for marketing?
Yeah, very
Batuta
good.
Advocate. If you haven't, if you don't follow the Batuta Advocate on Instagram, I suggest you do.
I don't. I'm not even on Instagram.
It is one of the best satirical things that you could watch. Instagram, Batuta Advocate, who, by the way, Gary, the Batuta Advocate slam real estate agents all the time.
And we're promoting them.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, fair enough. How does that work? Just like the pain, or?
Gary, speaking of promotions, let me show you. I'm just bouncing all over the place today.
I've got an agenda here.
Let me show you a property that we
did have
sold
one.
in Rosalie Street in Caulfield South.
Don't even have that on the list to
where
talk
we
about.
managed to sell it under strong competition for.
1
Watch
million.
this video.
We've got it.
We haven't stopped.
$1,299,999.99. We got there.
I will take your 1 cent bid. So there it is, Gary.
Yes,
First property.
$1,299,999.99. And of course, the week before,
never done it before.
The week before, across the road, I had the auction honours, and I think we sold it for $1,274,000 or something like that. $777, also 77 cents. So it's all happening.
Having a bit
it's
of
getting
fun,
confusing.
having a bit of fun at our auctions in this super hyped up campaign, we can still enjoy ourselves,
and we should.
And obviously, humour as a sales tactic always helps in
humour
a
helps
difficult
everything.
Negotiation.
It's
Humour
what
helps everything.
Makes the world go round. People say it's money, but I think it's laughter.
Smile and smile.
And the
whole world smiles with you.
That's it, Phil.
And there's another saying, by the way, viewers: smile and double your income.
That's for real estate agents, Philip, to be inspired, to be more positive and genuine in their approach.
One last thing, Gary. Sorry. Viewers, if you didn't read,
you're not going to read the Dusty Martin.
I am, because it was beautiful.
I want to
share
deep stuff here. They just want some real estate news and some
fun. Would never have known that this is a quote from Dustin.
I did read it.
Dusty Martin from the
Richmond Football Club.
Possibly one of the greatest players ever to have played the game. Now, that's a bloke that is covered in tattoos, including tattoos up his neck. And if you saw him walking down a dark alley at night, you'd be running.
You wouldn't ask him for light, would you, Phil?
But this guy,
would you ask him for light?
Listen to this.
No, you wouldn't, because you don't smoke.
Listen
I
to
might.
This as a quote.
Smoke
Viewers,
occasionally.
would you like me to send it to you? Listen to this.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm misunderstood or not. I just keep trying to be the best person I can. People are quick to pass judgment on one another, but you never really know what people are going through or have been through. We're all imperfect, we're all living and learning, and I just try to do my best every day.
Isn't that great?
I thought
that was inspirational.
First of all, I thought it was beautiful. Secondly, I thought, that surely that's a quote from some, philosopher,
someone on the world stage.
Well, it could have been
inspiring.
Like the Pope might have
maybe
said that.
Mahatma Gandhi could have said it.
But
it might have been, what's the other fellow, the Tibetan guy?
The Dalai Lama. When Dusty Martin is quoting that sort of, when he's saying, you've got to have some hope for humanity.
Hey, Phil, talking about Tibetan, I just wonder whether anybody was Tibetan on my horse on Saturday, because if you were Tibetan, you would have backed order of command.
See, that is
each way.
You'd swear that this show is rehearsed.
No,
you'd swear, like
so
that,
Tibetan. I want to move it over here. Tibetan. If you were
probably
Tibetan,
one of the best segues.
There you go. If you're going to be Tibetan, start making sure you're going to be Tibetan on order of command, because he came second, Phil. It was like 35 to 1.
Did you get on it big time?
Yeah, I got on. Well, not big time, because I'm not a big time gambler.
Well, you would have had a couple of thousand on that.
No,
for
I
sure.
don't bet a couple of thousand on anything, Phil. But it did come second, and I'm sorry I didn't tip it last week, because it just got pushed into that meeting after GPTV.
So this was your first. This is your first ever.
It's Group 1 place.
This is your first ever Group 1 race.
Yeah. No, it's the second group. We ran in the Goodwood last year.
So isn't it running in a race, Gary?
It's running in a big race, Phil. The TJ Smith Group 1 in 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time.
It's a $2.5 million race, Phil, and I don't think I'll be coming back from Sydney if I get there, but I won't get there anyway.
So you're now, you've got a horse
auctioning.
that's potentially going to win $2.5 million.
No, there's always a chance, Phil, but I doubt it.
Well, if it's in the race, it's got more of a chance than a horse that's not in the race.
Well, you can't win the lottery if you don't have a ticket. That's correct, Phil.
Wow.
Anyway, very exciting. So well done to all of the Order of Command
huge.
Followers, Phil, because
people
do watch this.
Where's it running?
It's running in Sydney, Phil, and I've been doing my rain dance because it loves the wet. It's like a duck. It's happy in the wet, Phil. But we're getting so off track. We're trying to talk about real estate, and we've got football, and we've got sex in desks, and we've got.
I think this
what happened to this show?
The most long-winded show,
and the most stupid show. But we've got no auctions to review, so
viewers. So
we're
going to drag it out.
Something,
Mind you, a lot of our viewers are saying they'd rather our banter than listening to the podcast.
No, I don't think so. I think people just want to get down to the facts, actually. But it'd be interesting. Let us know on
ideas at garypeer.com.au.
Hey, Phil, 6 at 14 Milton Street. Well, that was a humdinger auction. I had the pleasure of doing that. I think there was 6 bidders, Philip, sold for $837. That's what a good 2-bedroom apartment in Elwood with a courtyard gets you, Philip. 234 North Road. That was a thumping auction, wasn't it, Phil?
Well done to Jeremy Rosens, and the team.
We thought we might get it just in the low twos there, Phil. We got $2,460,000. We were hot in Elwood on the weekend, Phil. We were very busy. Foam Street. David Thompson, who also did the auction in Ripley Grove, and
did
David
a fine
Thompson,
job.
Called a real estate icon, gentleman, wonderful auctioneer as well. Auctioned that $455. Phil, 4 at 19 Dickens Street. Well, another big result, $1,390,000 under great competition, which is fantastic. Hey, we sold, we passed in Octavia Street and we did sell it straight afterwards.
Sold it on the Tuesday. So
we
Gary
did, yeah.
passed it on Sunday.
Sold on
Buyers
Tuesday.
came back on Monday, signed contracts on Tuesday, and that development is now no longer sold. Deals done.
No longer on the market.
Everyone's
Phil.
happy.
There was an upstairs and a downstairs. They're both gone. The sold sticker's gone up. Thank you to the vendor for giving us the gig, and well done to the buyers who were well known to the company. Congratulations. Woorale Street. Well, Graham Callan's a bit of a Woorale Street legend, Phil. There's something like 100 apartments. He just keeps ticking them over.
You'd love this. He sold 8 in the apartments.
Eight apartments,
Eight in the building. And I said to Graham, oh, that's great. How many in the building? And he says, 157.
That's something like
I thought,
that,
you've got some work to do, Graham. Why are you still sitting here in the sales meeting?
Exactly. 712 at 16 Woorale Street, Carnegie, sold for 430, Philip. So interesting to see what's going on there. And I just want to talk a bit about past in properties before we talk about our feature property. You know, the perception of past in properties can sometimes be very wrong. Can sometimes say, oh, it's past in.
Yeah.
So
as though it's got some,
like
it's
it was
typhus.
some disease, or it's got
typhus.
COVID or something, you know. Like it's a past in property, so people look at it and sneer at it. But I've got to say that sometimes that's where the best opportunities are as well. I look at the property in Deager Avenue, Phil, which sold for full price after it was passed in about a week ago. We talked about that. And 56A Centre Road, which was passed in. 2 people wanted it after, and it sold for more than the asking price. Over to you.
Keep in mind, viewers, that when we pass a property, and sometimes it's because we've said to the vendor, look, we'll get you more on Monday or Tuesday, don't sell.
It may well be. Yeah.
And we had a couple of those across the weekend, including an apartment in Hotham Street, where the vendor had said to us, look, I'm happy to price it there. And Viv Samuel said, no, look, I think I can get you more than that. So we priced it at $19,000 more than the price that they were happy to accept. And we sold it at full price. So viewers, always jump onto the past in properties, because there's no reflection of whether a property is good or bad or indifferent. It's more just sometimes with us particularly, it's a matter of, look, we think that price today is not the right price.
Past in does not mean not great property.
Correct,
Sometimes there's great opportunities. Phil, we've got one property to review, then we're going to go because we've just got to keep moving on. Phil, we've got to replace all those listings that we sold on the weekend, last weekend and through the week. But 587 Inkerman Road, now I know you've been through this. Tell us a bit about it.
This is the most fabulous house, Gary. It's right in the epicentre of Caulfield North. It's a beautiful family home. It's a big family home.
It's builder's own home.
Well, it is, Gary. 5 bedrooms, 4 beautiful bathrooms, double lock-up garage, incredible entertaining areas, but its real feature, other than being a brilliant family home, is that incredible I'm sitting by the pool in Port Douglas feeling that you get in the back garden, where all of the afternoon sun just hits the pool.
Streams through.
That's a beautiful family home.
Now, it might get sold very quickly, because I know there's a bit of interest.
Bit of activity there, Gary.
But if not, if it hasn't got sold yet,
come to the auction.
Hurry up.
The auction date there, of course, is up on screen. Thursday, the 29th of April at 6 p.m.
We love a twilight auction, Phil. Looking forward to it. That's a big wrap on this this end of March edition. The first quarter's gone. All the best.
Before we go,
April
viewers,
Fool tomorrow.
shout out to all the Melbourne supporters, all 4 of you out there that are watching the show. How good were we against St Kilda?
Yes.
2-0. The last
It's the
time.
same with Carlton. Carlton's the same.
Last time that
Carlton's
we
also
0-2.
Oh, sorry, got mixed up.
Around the wrong way.
Okay, yeah.
But Melbourne, is this a year that we will finally fulfil our potential? Probably not, but stay tuned. Let's see if we can go 3-0.
Between Carlton and Melbourne, we haven't lost or won a game all year so far. So that's a big wrap on GPTV, where you get your footy, racing, real estate news, and sometimes a little bit of fun and banter. We look forward to bringing it all to you again next week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fabulous long weekend.